Imagine a world where celebrity status isn't parked in a garage. It's hovering 3,000 feet above traffic, rotors slicing through California's sunshine at 150 miles per hour. Where vintage rotorcraft cost more than beach houses and helicopters become extensions of personality itself. These aren't just aircraft. They're flying statements of passion, precision, and sometimes pure obsession. Stay until the end, because the #1 spot involves a celebrity who actually uses their helicopter to save lives. So let's start with number 10 on our list. Burt Reynolds understood something about helicopters that most people never grasp. They let you land in your own front yard. His Bell Jet Ranger, valued between $400,000 and $800,000, depending on configuration and era, was powered by an Allison 250 turboshaft engine producing roughly 420 horsepower. That single engine pushed the aircraft to cruise speeds around 130 miles per hour with a range approaching 350 miles. The Jet Ranger wasn't trying to impress Beverly Hills neighbors. It was built for utility and reliability, and Reynolds used it exactly that way, commuting between film sets and his Florida estate without fighting a single mile of Los Angeles traffic. If you've ever sat on the 405 freeway watching your life tick away minute by minute, you understand the appeal. But while Reynolds chose convenience, the next celebrity turned helicopter ownership into something far more meaningful. Number 9. Angelina Jolie didn't just buy a helicopter. She earned her pilot's license and turned rotorcraft into humanitarian tools. Her Robinson R-44 Raven, valued around $500,000 to $600,000, sits at the more accessible end of helicopter ownership, but that was entirely intentional. Under the cabin sits a Lycoming 0540 engine producing approximately 260 horsepower. Cruise speed hovers around 110 to 120 miles per hour, with a range just under 300 miles, depending on load. The R-44 is known for simplicity, reliability, and relatively low operating costs compared to turbine helicopters. Jolie completed her helicopter training while serving as a UN Goodwill Ambassador, learning rotorcraft navigation, partly to understand aviation's environmental footprint. The Robinson lets her travel between humanitarian sites without relying on external transport. Function over flash. But if Jolie represents practical helicopter ownership, the next celebrity proves that rock stars do everything differently. Number 8. David Lee Roth, the original frontman of Van Halen, became a certified helicopter pilot in 2006. And his inspiration wasn't what you'd expect from the guy who sang Jump. He wanted to fly helicopters ever since watching the television series MASH as a teenager. That Bell 47, with its distinctive bubble canopy and exposed tail boom, captured his imagination decades before he could afford lessons. Roth completed his training on Robinson helicopters, earning his private rotorcraft license after years in rock and roll. The Robinson R-22, which many helicopter pilots start with, produces around 180 horsepower from its Lycoming 0360 engine, cruising at roughly 95 miles per hour. It's not glamorous by celebrity standards, but Roth wasn't chasing glamour. He was chasing a childhood dream, and somehow that feels more rock and roll than any private jet ever could. Now we move from rock legends to the runway, because the next celebrity earned her helicopter license while 6 months pregnant. Number 7. Gisele Bündchen learned to fly helicopters in a Robinson R-44 at Shoreline Aviation in Massachusetts, passing her written exam and completing her flight training in 2009. Her motivation wasn't convenience or status. She wanted to understand aviation from the cockpit perspective while working as a UN Environmental Program Goodwill Ambassador, researching alternative jet fuels. The R-44's four-seat configuration and relatively forgiving handling characteristics made it ideal for training. Cruise speeds around 110 miles per hour with a service ceiling near 14,000 feet gave her enough performance to understand real rotorcraft operations without overwhelming complexity. Bündchen has spoken about using her aviation knowledge to better understand the environmental challenges of air travel. And let's be honest, there's something incredibly compelling about a supermodel earning her helicopter license while carrying her first child. But while Bündchen learned to fly for environmental awareness, the next celebrity began his helicopter career decades earlier, doing something far more dangerous. Number 6. Before Kris Kristofferson became a country music legend and Hollywood star, he was a United States Army helicopter pilot. He earned his wings at Fort Rucker, Alabama, flying Bell UH-1 Iroquois helicopters, better known as Hueys. Those machines were powered by Lycoming T-53 turboshaft engines, producing around 1,400 horsepower. Cruise speeds reached approximately 125 miles per hour, with operational ranges exceeding 300 miles, depending on mission profile. After leaving the Army in 1965, Kristofferson worked as a commercial helicopter pilot for Petroleum Helicopters International, flying supplies to offshore oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico. During those long shifts sitting on oil platforms, he wrote songs that would eventually make him famous. According to aviation legend, he once landed a helicopter on Johnny Cash's front lawn to deliver a demo tape. Cash later signed him. Whether that story is completely accurate depends on who's telling it, but it has become part of both aviation and country music folklore. Speaking of using helicopters for good causes, the next celebrity has logged more rescue missions than most professional pilots. Number 5. Harrison Ford doesn't just own helicopters, he uses them to save lives. His Bell 407GX, valued around $2.5 to $3 million, is powered by a Rolls-Royce 250 C-47B turboshaft engine, producing approximately 650 horsepower. Cruise speed sits around 140 miles per hour, with a range exceeding 300 nautical miles. Ford flies this helicopter from his ranch in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and has participated in multiple search and rescue missions for lost hikers in the Teton mountain range. In one documented rescue, he airlifted a dehydrated hiker who was so disoriented she didn't recognize the Hollywood legend who just saved her life. When asked about his rescue work, Ford has downplayed his individual contribution, emphasizing that helicopter rescue operations require team coordination. Still, he's personally flown hundreds of children through the Experimental Aircraft Association's Young Eagles program, introducing them to aviation from the cockpit. But Ford's current helicopter isn't his only rotorcraft experience. His aviation journey includes a crash that would have ended most people's flying careers entirely. Number 4. In October 1999, Harrison Ford crash-landed a Bell Long Ranger helicopter during a training exercise and walked away relatively unharmed. That incident didn't stop him from flying. The Bell 206L Long Ranger, typically valued between $600,000 and $1.2 million on the used market, features an Allison 250 C-30P turboshaft engine, producing around 650 horsepower. Extended fuselage design allows seating for up to 7 passengers with cruise speeds approaching 130 miles per hour. Ford has owned multiple generations of the Long Ranger platform, appreciating its reliability for utility operations around his Wyoming property. This helicopter series became iconic through television shows like Magnum P.I., where the fictional Island Hoppers Company operated a distinctive Long Ranger for charter services. Ford's continued flying after his crash demonstrates something helicopter enthusiasts understand deeply. The relationship between pilot and machine isn't about avoiding risk, it's about respecting it. Now we shift to Hollywood royalty with a helicopter habit that predates most celebrity aviation stories. Number 3. Clint Eastwood has been a licensed helicopter pilot for more than 30 years, preferring his Eurocopter AS-350 for commuting between film locations and avoiding Southern California traffic. The AS-350, often called the A-Star in North America, typically sells between $1.5 million to $2.5 million, depending on configuration and hours. Power comes from a Turbomeca Ariel turboshaft engine, producing approximately 850 horsepower. Cruise speed reaches around 140 miles per hour, with service ceiling approaching 23,000 feet. Range extends beyond 350 miles with standard fuel capacity. Eastwood's helicopter history actually began with a near-death experience. In 1951, as a 21-year-old Army soldier, he was a passenger in a Douglas AD bomber that crashed into the Pacific Ocean off Point Reyes. He swam through shark-infested waters to shore. Most people would avoid aircraft forever after that experience. Eastwood eventually became a helicopter pilot instead. But while Eastwood chose turbine efficiency, the next celebrity pursued something with significantly more horsepower and considerably less practicality. Number 2. Tom Cruise, the actor who played Maverick in Top Gun, holds certifications for both helicopters and multiple types of fixed-wing aircraft. His helicopter training includes advanced rotorcraft ratings that allow him to perform many of his own aerial sequences in films. The Augusta Westland AW109, which Cruise has been photographed flying, typically sells between $3 to $6 million, depending on configuration. Twin Pratt & Whitney PW206C turboshaft engines produce approximately 640 horsepower combined. Cruise speed exceeds 170 miles per hour, with range approaching 500 nautical miles. Service ceiling reaches 20,000 feet. Cruise's commitment to aviation extends beyond ownership. He insisted on flying actual helicopters during the production of Mission Impossible Fallout, performing aerobatic sequences that stunt coordinators initially deemed too dangerous. His helicopter skills are documented, verified, and apparently terrifying to insurance companies. Which brings us to number 1. And this entry isn't about a single helicopter. It's about a complete collection and a pilot who proves celebrity helicopter ownership at its most impressive. Number 1. Kurt Russell represents helicopter ownership done with genuine pilot dedication. His aviation career spans nearly 4 decades, starting when he earned his private license in 1988. Russell holds certifications for single-engine, multi-engine, and instrument flight rules operations. His aircraft collection has included a Piaggio Avanti, a Cessna Conquest, and his beloved Starduster biplane. But his helicopter proficiency puts him in rare company among celebrity pilots. Russell has logged over 5,000 flight hours with significant time in rotorcraft operations. His grandfather was a senior Czech captain for TWA and a test pilot for Howard Hughes, meaning aviation runs in the family blood. Russell has stated publicly that flying has taught him more about himself than anything else in his life. In 2010, he received the Aviation Mentor Award at the Living Legends of Aviation ceremony, recognizing his commitment to promoting aviation education. Unlike celebrities who simply purchase expensive aircraft, Russell invested decades mastering the skill. That commitment transforms helicopter ownership from a status symbol into genuine passion. So if you made it all the way to number 1, you clearly appreciate more than just luxury. You appreciate the craft behind the rotorcraft. Tell me in the comments, would you choose a sleek turbine helicopter, a classic training Robinson, or something with military heritage? And if helicopter content like this fascinates you, hit subscribe. Next, we're diving into the vintage aircraft collections that make even these helicopters look modest.